I tried this easy health hack for 7 days to see if I could change my life. But let me give you some more context.
Meet Jessie Inchauspé from Glucose Goddess, who has blown up recently, racking up millions of views, sharing her most popular health hack.
That just 1 tablespoon of vinegar before a meal can reduce the consequences of carbs on our glucose levels.
So where I got my idea was from her book, The Glucose Goddess Method, where she outlines in week 2 a vinegar hack. And that's the one that I'm specifically going to be trying this week because apple cider vinegar is that ingredient that's talked about across the world and across medical professionals who all say that it has a very popular benefit.
Apple cider vinegar is made from fermented apple juice, so the fermentation converts the sugars from the juice into something called acetic acid. And this is the magic that gives it all its health properties. So Jessie said that acetic acid in vinegar can flatten the glucose curve that spikes every time we have a meal.
So if you're thinking like, why do I have to care about glucose? Well, literally anyone who eats and is alive should care about it because it comes up for different people in different ways. Do you crave sweet foods, sugar? Do you get tired during the day? Do you have difficulty finding energy? Do you get brain fog? Things like bloating and indigestion and just feeling really heavy? And I answered yes to all of these, which was why I was like, I need to try this right now.
When we eat, our bodies break the food down into glucose molecules, which are a sugar that flows into our bloodstream. And that gives us energy to feel alive, think, and do things that we need to do. But sometimes we eat a lot of sugary things or a lot of carbs all at once, and this causes an abnormally large glucose spike, which produces all different issues, including inflammatory problems like breakouts, eczema, psoriasis, and then in the stomach, things like indigestion and bloating, as well as mood, like energy crashes and PMS symptoms like mood swings. And one that I'm personally haunted by is PCOS symptoms like irregular hormone cycles, which can lead to things like acne, hair loss, and infertility down the line.
So when our glucose curves and habits aren't healthy, these are the things that it can lead to.
I'm going to measure and track the daily progress of my skin, bloating, and my overall weight to see if indeed it does work as fast and if it's as transformative as all the studies dietitians, doctors seem to agree that it is.
It took an unexpected turn, so let's start with day 1. Day 1 check-in, 116.8 weight. My measurement was 28.66, and this is what my skin looked like. So I had a few breakouts on the chin, some residual hormonal acne. This is the cup of coffee I would have had this morning, and we're replacing it with this guy. Because I didn't want to have a coffee and then the apple cider vinegar, because some places were saying that, they're both quite acidic. And the reason why I used this straw is because I also heard a mistake some people do is, when you drink things, you just swish it around in the mouth. But because it's acidic, if you have this every single day, it can affect enamel. So I'm gonna use a straw because that was what some doctors and medical experts suggested. Okay. Zing of sour. That's better. I was taking too big of gulps.
For the actual drink, we're mixing 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar mixed with water and drinking that up to 20 or 30 minutes before a meal, because this is the time that apparently it's measured to help the most.
For my mood, it was pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Day 1 lunch, making myself fried egg. This, my friend, is day 1 lunch. Then for bowel movements, normal. For my energy levels, at the beginning it was quite normal. Didn't feel anything that different. Normally, I do feel a little dip of energy after lunch, and it comes on around 3 o'clock. And it's at that time that sometimes I'll order like a bubble tea or I'll make another drink. Cravings during the day, I didn't really have anything specifically, but I noticed I did get a little bit hungrier around 2 hours after eating my lunch. And I don't know if that was because of the apple cider vinegar or it was because maybe I ate a little less, but I ended up going into the office, doing some work, and my coworker had a banana, so I ate the banana and I was good. So that was day 1. It's too early to see anything.
On day 2, here's my check-in. Skin looks pretty similar. Weight went down by just a bit.
This is my fully out belly. 28.
0.14.
So on day 2, I actually had my coffee as usual in the morning, and then I went into the office. So I actually prepared the apple cider vinegar in a drink bottle beforehand, and in the book it says you can carry a flask, like if you do have a spontaneous meal or if you have a dessert, you can kind of drink it on the go.
So I'm gonna drink it now. Thomas made me lunchies, some rice, broccoli, and he tried to make Thai food. We shall drink our apple cider first. One thing I realized for sure was that I was feeling fuller quicker. And while researching, I found that one of the benefits of consuming vinegar is it slows down gastric emptying, meaning it slows down the rate at which the food leaves our stomach and enters the small intestine. And this can give us that feeling of being fuller for longer and can help with better digestion and also nutrient absorption. Cookie treats! Guess who can eat cookies because they had apple cider vinegar.
So the cookie after your meal is actually something that Jessie also talks about in the book on kind of like how we can eat properly, which is dessert after the meal is much better than dessert or sweets before a meal, because after the meal you would have already created almost a buffer lining in your stomach, and it suppresses the glucose spike from eating something sweet before. So for my mood, I was feeling pretty normal, bowel movement was normal, and it was on the second day that I realized my energy levels was interesting, because on the night before, I slept at 1:45, which is so late for me. If I'm not in bed by 12 o'clock, your girl's suffering the next day. But it was only later on in the day that I realized I didn't get this wave of fatigue that I normally get when I've slept late. And I didn't have the cravings to buy a sugary drink to kind of perk me up, because normally that's when I'll get the bubble tea. And that's kind of like the body telling me like, oh, I'm tired. And the energy thing actually reminded me of lemon. People say that if you have low energy or you just need a perk, just drink some water with some lemon, because the potassium and everything, the acidity within the lemon will help to perk up the body and give you a boost of energy. But it was like maintained throughout the day. It was really weird. I think by drinking the glass of apple cider vinegar with water like 10 minutes before the meal, it actually started to fill me up even before eating. And so by the time I was eating, I would feel full quicker. At that point, I wasn't eating less yet. I was still trying to like eat my normal portions. Day 3. So my morning check-in, I was 116.8 for weight. My measurement of the waist was 27.83, and this is what my skin looked like. So I noticed by day 3, which was Friday, that there was no new breakouts. It was actually just all flattening. I am drinking coffee as my first beverage because my first meal is actually at lunch around like 12 o'clock. So because that's my first meal, I've just been bringing in the apple cider vinegar in a drink bottle to prepare on the go. At lunch, I had a rice bowl with quinoa, chicken, mac and cheese, and doused it in sauce. That was my first meal.
The interesting thing about acetic acid in vinegar is that it boosts acid production in our stomach and supports digestion by stimulating digestive juices and enzymes to actually break down what we're eating, leading to less bloating and stomach pains. And indigestion and stomach pain is definitely something I've personally experienced as I've gotten older. My metabolism just isn't the same as it was before, so I found out that a part of this bloating might actually be because our stomachs aren't digesting food properly and it's getting irritated and gassy. So I'm really curious to see if this helps over the course of the week.
And then because that day was really hot, so I felt like a drink, and so I got matcha strawberry latte. Yeah, chow chow matcha. What was really clear to me by day 3 was that I wasn't craving anything throughout the day. It was actually more the fact that I always felt full. And so food didn't really even come up that much. And I didn't notice at the time, but also my energy levels were just very constant. It made me realize that what I thought was normal before was not actually a maintained normal. This is like this lighter feeling of just constant energy. So then I started looking into it. The tissues in your body can actually utilize that as a source of energy. And I'm like, Wow, that's amazing. I was so full that I didn't even feel like eating dinner. It is 9 o'clock. Thomas is eating his dinner.
And I'm still not hungry. I'm suspecting whether it's just because I had a very filling lunch or it's actually like made me feel fuller for longer.
But the curry looks so good. I'm not trying to not eat. I just felt full. But I shall have a little bit.
I'm not hungry. And then eats all my stuff.
I love naan. It's not naan bread because bread is already naan, just like it's not chai tea. It's just chai. No one asked. I really love this method because you don't have to change anything at all about what your current routine is. Basically, she says, eat whatever you want to eat, drink whatever you're drinking now, but by adding these little hacks throughout the week, just measure how you feel and how your body reacts, and it will naturally change. Day 4, it's the weekend. Day 4, and I woke up at 1 o'clock. Okay, so we were waiting outside. My starting weight was 116.6, measurement was 27.51, and here's my skin. And this whole time, I can't remember the previous numbers. And so me seeing it like recording this now is actually super interesting. So before going out, I drank my apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna actually mix the apple cider with some seltzer water. By the way, any vinegar actually has acetic acid. You can mix them into like salads and stuff, which will still give you that effect. That actually tastes so good. Okay, so there's one thing I also want to point out. I feel like my skin has also been clearing up so much. Like, it is so smooth. And I remember at the beginning of this, it was like there was an onslaught of kind of like hormonal acne, like skin and gut axis. I think something's happening because my skin is clearing up. See you at my first meal. And then we went out and I ate a sausage and egg sandwich, which is delicious, my favorite thing. Once again, starting with a savory meal. I found out and discovered Muji has this yuzu and apple cider vinegar drink concoction that you mix with whatever you want. So I wanted to restock on that because we just finished the bottle and it's actually delicious. So just keep that in mind. This one does have more sugar because it's got the yuzu syrup. So my mood for the day, I was actually kind of annoyed at something with Thomas. Bowel movement. Okay, it was this day that I started feeling like a little bit constipated and I was a little bit confused because I was like, isn't this supposed to help? But you know that feeling where it's like, I feel a little denser. So it started happening later on in the day. Cravings. So it was because I started feeling a little denser that I was like, I want to make some vegetables. And I made a big bowl of like broccoli with like just tossed in garlic. The thing about these hacks is they have all these benefits. They can help with everything, right? But nothing replaces your core diet. In turn, it actually made me more aware of my body, how I was feeling, and more conscious about what I was putting into my body. Okay, Sunday. This is where it took an unexpected turn. On Saturday, I ended up not doing my number 2Z. I weighed in, I was 117.2. 117, measurement was 27.83. And this is what my skin looked like. So I actually think I had a little bit of constipation from lack of fiber, even though I was having the apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar was helping me with everything else, like feeling fuller, feeling more energetic, feeling very focused and alert. But because of everything I was eating, it can't make up for it. Just finished another glass. If you can't tell, my diet is very carb heavy. I love carbs. Oh my God, I love carbs so much. Now this is where it gets really interesting to me looking back because the measurement on my stomach actually wasn't that abnormal considering the fact that I was about like a pound heavier. And I think that's kind of where the apple cider vinegar comes in. It actually mediated excessive bloating and excessive irritation of the gut. Even though I felt it, it didn't expand in a way that was like overly uncomfortable. And then at the end of the night, voila, my 2Z came. Yay! And then I felt instantly better. Went to bed, Next day, Monday. So started the weight and it was 116, measurement was 27.71. Now that I look at the measurement, my measurement actually didn't go up too much. Mood on Monday was normal, bowel movements, success, we're back to normal. Energy levels, obviously I felt much lighter, my mind and conscious was at ease now. And then additional realizations, my skin was poppin'. It was like evened. It just kept getting clearer and clearer by the day. Like every morning I woke up, I was like, huh, surprising. And then everything else around the nose, that redness had kind of disappeared and I was like, wow. And I know my skin is very, very reflective of how I eat and my stress levels. So whatever it was, something was working.
It is the last day and Thomas is not here to help me weigh myself, so off we go.
So started the weight and it was 116. Oh my God, wait, I forgot I had my hair clip in. This like heavy clip. Reweigh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, 115.60.
Measurement was 27.79. My weight went back to normal and overall it has had like a downward trajectory. Ready for the best sound? That's so good. The standouts was that I felt fuller quicker and I felt fuller for longer. And that's really interesting and my skin had cleared up immensely. But more than that, it was my focus and my energy levels and how maintained my cravings were, because I just felt satisfied all the time. If you guys suffer with portion control, eating habits, and fatigue during the day, like food comas, this is something you'll definitely want to try for yourself. And what I really want to stress is that the number of your weight does not indicate anything. Weight is just a number. Different people have different builds of the body. We all have different water levels, muscle levels. So please don't take this as like a weight thing. Although through healthy eating habits, it can help with weight. So it's more of like a carry-on effect. It's actually asking us how to live and build better habits for our daily lives to make us feel and be the best we can be. So overall, I enjoyed this 7-day experience thoroughly. I am most definitely going to do this for the rest of the month and the next month, because what I'm interested in seeing is how it can help with my hormonal balance, to check if my period can come on time. Now, things to take note of. If you're on any medications, I would just check with your healthcare professional, your doctor. Second thing is that if you're pregnant, then also just check with your healthcare professional. I hope you enjoyed this experience with me. Yeah, if you have any other challenges you want me to try, this was just, you know, you can live vicariously through me and hopefully implement some of the things that you see could be beneficial for you. I would also suggest you buy this book if you're interested, because she has so many recipes in here. So I'll see you really soon. Subscribe if you haven't. Love you guys.